How many times this month alone have you made a purchase because it was on sale? Or because you were influenced by one of your favorite creators because they shared how great an item worked for them? Let's unpack how to stop spending money unnecessarily. We'll dive into how capitalism influences our spending habits and practical steps to break free from the cycle. Let me first say that capitalism itself is not the problem. Capitalism is a very rewarding system to so many average Joes, and when used, can afford convenience and simple luxury to citizens. It has certainly allowed for regular people to become thousandaires and even millionaires. It has been a way for many people to change their lives. We should all appreciate capitalism and what it has to offer in some sense. So the problem will never be capitalism. The problem will always be our lack of self-control and our inability to moderate our own consumption. That being said, we have to understand that capitalism will always encourage consumption because it drives economic growth. The companies behind the brands we support will always thrive when we buy more. So, of course, it's to their benefit to sell us the cure that is in the form of their product. When we understand the influence of capitalism, we can spend less time being influenced to consume and more time carefully considering whether or not we actually need the items we're being sold. Advertising and marketing is based on creating a void or a deficit. For example, we all need lotion or some type of moisturizer. But there are companies that know that there's a subpopulation of people who have drier skin and would benefit from a special formula. So what do? They will call out those people in the commercial. Tired of dry, cracked skin? Embarrassed by your itchy skin and red patches? Then they immediately sell you on the solution. The moisturizing oils in their brand create a double barrier so you won't have to reapply lotion or whatever it is that they say to you. And the person with dry skin thinks, I can use that. And don't get me wrong, it's nearly impossible for a good brand to compete without advertising. I'm not at all saying that companies should not advertise, but I'm saying that we as consumers need to take responsibility and understand the concept of what is called manufactured desires and how companies create this sense of inadequacy in order to sell us more products. This is evidenced by the fact that we own more highly specialized items now than ever before. And there are hundreds, if not thousands, of brands in each category that offer the same product. It is important that we understand how much we are influenced to consume what we do not need. Then we have to make a decision on where we draw the line. That, of course, will vary person by person, but that's the first step. For me, my line is I have one product at a time for a specific purpose. So I don't have 5 moisturizers, 3 hair gels, or 4 lotions. I have one item for each product and purpose. Even if I want to try something new to keep the clutter down and to decrease my chances of spending, I only buy when it needs replacement. We also need to recognize our emotional triggers. This looks like identifying emotional triggers that lead to impulse spending. Do you have a tendency to shop when you're bored, when there's social pressure to do so, when you just have extra money and you just have to spend it? For me, I would feel the need to shop whenever I felt sad, as if buying new things would change that for me. So I would temporarily satisfy myself with a new something. But after thinking about it long enough, I realized that it wasn't solving anything long term and would only later result in buyer's remorse. So coming to the understanding that there was really nothing I could buy to solve or reverse my sadness was key. You want to identify your triggers and learn to deal with them directly instead of trying to use retail therapy as a band-aid solution. You might need a budget, and nothing too crazy, just a general account of where your money should be going. You need to track your expenses, if for no other reason, for the fact that you may shock yourself into submission when you're able to see exactly how much you spent on shopping, especially when there isn't really much to show for it. You also want to practice mindful spending by questioning purchases before making them. Do I really need this? What value will it add to my life? What would happen if I didn't buy it? This comes down to drawing a hard, definitive line between your needs and wants. And honestly, it's okay to get things you want, but it's important to ensure you're actually allowing yourself to get them because you desire them and not because you were influenced. Next, you want to cultivate contentment. You have enough. Whatever you've been using to get through is enough. Choosing not to have multiple products for the same use, like 3 different shampoos or 4 different soaps. This goes for clothing too. How many dark wash jeans do you need to maintain your wardrobe? Be honest with yourself, and if you have enough, don't buy more. Remember, just because it's marketed to you does not mean that you actually need to buy it. The key to escaping the consumerism trap lies in self-awareness and practicality. Don't be fooled by what you're being sold. In most cases, you don't need it. Learning to carefully consider these points prior to making a purchase can make all the difference for you mentally, but also for your wallet. See you in the next one.